I keep my phone on the kitchen table now, face up, ringer all the way up, even though I know it's not going to ring before 8. I tell myself I'm just leaving it there in case of an emergency. That's not true. I'm leaving it there in case Danny calls. I raised 4 kids in that house. 4. And somewhere along the way, it became normal that only one of them checks in, and the other 3 just exist somewhere out there, alive, fine, busy, and I find out how they're doing from each other, secondhand, like I'm a distant aunt instead of their mother. I used to think that would feel worse than it does. Mostly it just feels quiet. And the phone sits there in the quiet with me. I remember when they were small, how I used to grade myself at the end of each day. Did I yell too much? Did I notice when one of them was quiet at dinner? I was so sure that if I just did enough of the right things, I'd earn something permanent. Nobody tells you that raising kids well doesn't guarantee they'll want to know you later. Nobody tells you the accounting doesn't work like that. Sandra calls on birthdays and Christmas, always exactly on the day, never a day early, like she's checking a box. Mark I hear from maybe 3 times a year, always short, always a little rushed. Teresa I hadn't spoken to in 11 months, and I know it was 11 months because I counted, which is its own kind of admission. Only Danny calls just to talk, every Sunday, sometimes a Tuesday too, for no reason at all, and I look forward to it in a way that honestly embarrasses me, a woman my age rearranging her whole week around a phone call. Then, 3 Sundays ago, it didn't ring. I sat with it at the kitchen table until 9, then 10, telling myself he was busy, telling myself I wasn't the kind of mother who panics over a missed call. Later I found out his phone had gone dead. Somewhere, out on a lake with my granddaughter, no charger, no signal, and he called twice the next day to apologize for it, more sorry than the thing deserved. But that night, I didn't know any of that yet. I almost didn't check my messages, and then I did, and there was one voicemail, not from Danny, from Teresa, 9 seconds long. Just her voice saying, "Hey, Mom, it's me, call me back," in a tone I couldn't place, and I played it 4 times trying to hear something in it that wasn't there. I think I know why it's always been Danny. When he was 9, he broke his arm falling off the shed roof, and I sat with him in the ER for 6 hours. And something about being needed like that, so plainly and physically, made me softer with him afterward in a way I wasn't with the others. I didn't decide to love him more, but I was easier on him, and easier is its own kind of message a kid receives whether you mean to send it or not. I called Teresa back the next morning, the phone warm from sitting in the sun on the table.
Teresa! Yeah?
I think I was easier on your brother. When you were growing up, I think I know why, and I don't have a good excuse for it. There was a silence long enough that I almost filled it, and I made myself not. I know, she finally said. I always knew. Something in me finally understood, sitting there, what my niece had let slip at my sister's last month that Teresa had once told her I was, and I'm using her word, a lot when they were growing up. Not cruel, not the villain in some story, just a lot. Tired, short-tempered, always halfway distracted, with 3 other kids pulling at me. I'd smiled it off at the time and cried in my own driveway before I even went inside. Hearing I always knew made it land in a different place entirely. I'm sorry, I told her. Okay, Mom. 4 words. I couldn't read them at all, and I still can't. But we talked for a few more minutes after that. About nothing. Her car, the weather, and when we hung up, I sat there holding the phone with both hands like it might still have something more in it. My friend Carol is the only person I've said any of this to, out loud. 2 Tuesdays ago on her porch, I told her about the phone on the table, about the voicemail, about Teresa's 4 words. She didn't try to fix any of it. She just said, I know. I have the one too. Like it's a category of woman we both belong to now, women with the one kid who calls, sitting in houses that used to be loud. There was something almost restful about not being the only one. Teresa has called twice since. Not every week. Not like Danny. But twice, which is twice more than the 11 months before it. And I've stopped trying to decide whether that counts as enough. Tonight the phone is on the kitchen table again, face up, ringer all the way up. Danny will call because it's Sunday, and I'll light up a little when I see his name, the way I always do. But some part of me, the part I've stopped pretending isn't there, is listening for a second name, too. I don't think there's a version of this where all four of them call. I think there's just this version, the one I have now, a little fuller than it was. And some nights that's enough, and some nights I still sit with the phone face up, hoping one of the others forgets what day it is, and calls anyway.